Välkomna! Jag heter Fredrik Batzler och jobbar som facklig samordnare och jurist på SAC-syndikalisterna. Det här panelsamtalet ska handla om logistikjätten Amazon och facket. Samtalet är en del av SACs branschkonferens som vi genomför i samarbete med Nordiska arbetarfilmfestivalen. Som de flesta av er säkert vet så är ju Amazon på väg att etablera sig i Sverige. Och företaget hyllas ju ofta som innovativt och nyskapande, men det är också känt som ett väldigt antifackligt företag. Vi har hört berättelser till exempel om arbetare som var tvungna att kissa i petflaskor för att de inte har fått toapauser, och gravida kvinnor som har fått stå upp under långa arbetspass på flera timmar utan att få sätta sig ner, för att nämna 2 exempel. Så hur är det då att jobba på Amazon, och inte minst hur är det att vara fackligt engagerad där? För att ta reda på det så har vi bjudit in 2 fackliga aktivister med erfarenhet från Amazons anläggningar i Tyskland och Polen. Kanske kan de ge svar på frågan: vad är det som väntar den svenska fackföreningsrörelsen när Amazon startar sin verksamhet här? Christian Kreling arbetar på Amazons anläggning i Bad Hersfeld i Tyskland. Han är fackligt aktiv i Verdi på sin arbetsplats. Och Roman Lupinski är aktiv i IP, arbetarinitiativet, som har en fackklubb på Amazons lager i Poznan i Polen. Christian and Roman, thank you so much for joining me. You both work at Amazon and you are both active in your respective local unions. Now, we really want to know, what is it actually like to work at Amazon? Christian, do you want to start by telling us a little bit about the work conditions at the Amazon facility at Bad Hersfeld?
Yeah. I think the work conditions are comparable to the working conditions in other warehouses. So we have different departments with different kinds of work. So, for example, we have the pickers who pick the goods out of the shelves. And for example, they walk 15 kilometers a day. We have the packers who pack the goods into the packages and then send them out. And the work conditions. The main problems are that we have a big trouble with the company management, with a leading system, with a leading culture. And there's a lot of surveillance. So the workers, so every work step is surveilled by the company with scanners, with a technical system, which is a big problem. And certain part of the contracts which the workers have are only temporary contracts. I think Roman can talk more about this, because this problem is worse in Poland than in Germany. And the surveillance together with this these contracts is a big problem, because it is a lot of pressure on the workers.
Right. Thank you. And Roman, you work at at Amazon in Poznan. What's it like there? If you just want to briefly describe the work conditions at the facility in Poznan.
Actually, its work condition are worse, like in Germany, because we're working in 2 shifts during like all week. So meaning, so we're working from Monday to Sunday. Actually, in Amazon calendar, from Sunday to Saturday. In different shifts, starting, it's meaning we're working in 4 days per 10 hours, and 2 shifts in day shifts and night shift. So meaning, so we spent in our warehouse like about 11 hours. Because we have like 10 hours work and 1.5 hour break unpayment, and of course we are in our warehouse little early, like start shift, and of course we go out little after this. So, and for example, I live very near to my warehouse, so I spend with my journey to work and from work about 12 hours together. But a lot of people going by free Amazon buses from very far villages and small towns where are no work, or work is like job which can they get its very low payment. So they for
really
this
quickly there, Roman. How many people work at the facility in Poznan?
I think I'm not sure now, but about 4,000. So it's
a pretty big
like
facility.
in all. Like probably, yeah, about 4,000, but it's like in all Amazon in Poland, about 16,000 people, but working directly to Amazon. But we have, of course, a lot of people who working by working agencies, especially now when coming peak time. And Amazon use that kind of workers, very intensive.
So how big part of the workforce would you estimate are temp workers that are actually employed by outside companies then?
I'm not sure, but it's I think in peak time, can be maybe almost half, like something like this, because it's now Amazon have a campaign, like advertisement campaign, even in Polish TV. I saw 2 days ago I saw Amazon advertisement. So I was surprised, and a lot of like stationary advertisement in the city I see, especially in railway station. So this is like and the near road which like coming into a city. So this meaning, so the advertisement are, for me, I writing this, for me it's especially for people from outside city, like just coming from this quite small villages and small towns where are a problem with work.
Right.
Yeah.
So I want to, we're going to get back to the question of temp workers and what that means for union organizing and so on. But I want to ask you, Christian, before we move on, how you mentioned before that you don't have the same problem with temp workers, but is that also an issue at Bad Hersfeld? And also, I would like to know, like, how many people work at Bad Hersfeld, where you work?
Yeah, in Bad Hersfeld we have about also 4,000 people working. So which in Germany, most of the other Amazon facilities, they have only 2,000. So, but we are, so from the number of workers, we are the biggest facility in Germany in Bad Hersfeld. And so we have about 25% to 30% of temp workers. So it used to be the other way around. So it was about maybe 7 years ago. So it was similar to what we see now in Poland. That they used mainly temp workers to do the work. So I started as a temp worker myself, and everybody who starts at Amazon will start as a temp worker, at least in Germany. And so after 2 years of working, and most of the times you will get either a permanent contract or you will have to leave the company. And most of the temp workers will leave the company. Well, they have to leave the company because they don't get a new contract. This is why we also have a very high fluctuation, which of course makes organizing a little bit difficult because you have to always start from new.
Right. So we're just waiting one second for Roman to reconnect.
Sorry, I have some problem with connection.
No worries. Okay, so I want to ask both of you. You obviously know each other from before, and I want to ask you to compare the similarities and differences between the two Amazon places where you work. But first, I want to know how did you meet and how did you get to know each other? Roman, do you want to start?
Yeah, if I could remember, we meet in Poznań in one of first international meeting of Amazon workers, which organized our unions. Probably, yeah. I think Christian, we met there or before. I'm not sure, but probably we met in Poznań, if I could remember.
And so, how would you describe the differences and similarities between the two places? You alluded to temp workers being one thing. Christian, are there other things that are different or similar between the two places?
Of course, there are a lot of other things. So first, maybe Roman can also add some things. But so I start. So first, there are different wages. We saw that in Poland the wages are a lot lower than in Germany. So it's about a quarter of the wage in Germany. Also, they are doing the same work, and even I think the work is a little bit harder. And also, there are differences in the working times. The Polish colleagues, they work 10 hours a day, so one shift is 10 hours. In Germany, it differs between 7.5 hours and 8 hours. It depends on the facility where you're working at, but so it's. We don't work more than 8 hours a day. And also, what other differences? Maybe Roman can add some. So there are a lot of differences still. There are different labor laws also. Maybe Roman can tell something.
Do you want to add something there, Roman?
Yeah, it's basic what Christian say, but it's another thing. It's this how Amazon treat two different countries and people in these two different countries. Actually, different. I don't know. It's because we are in European Union above, so like in one country anyway, and it's because it's. Amazon treat Poland and Polish people just like cheap labor force, and it's because most thing what we sent to German market, but probably very few things we sent to Poland, mostly going to Germany, and actually most thing what we get coming from Germany, we unpack this and pack this to customer and send to Germany back. So it's like it's showing how Amazon treat Polish people, and we still for now we don't have a Polish website for Amazon for Polish customers. It's are some news, so will be open Polish website for Black Friday, and but anyway, we now have Amazons in Poland 6 years, because I working from beginning, and this mean I working it's in half of September. I like have like 6 years in Amazon, so this clearly showing we are from Amazon, and what it's Amazon politics about a country like Poland and like Polish people. We are pure like Germans and German country, so it's showing this.
I understand. Okay, so I want to talk about the unions at your facilities. Christian, do you want to start by sharing a bit about your background in the union? You're a member of Verdi, right?
Yes, I'm a member of the union Verdi, so which is for the public sector, the service sector, and the trade sector, and it's the second biggest union in Germany. So, and Verdi is the union which is responsible for Amazon. So, in my background with the union is that I was always a member with the union. So I was in the biggest metal union before I worked at Amazon. And when I started working at Amazon, I was changing the union because the other union, the Verdi, is responsible. So I went to Verdi, and it was in 2010 or 2011. So when we started to organize in the union. So, but we have a little bit a different view on the union and how the union should be used and what it is. So then the official way in Germany is because we started as an organizing project. So we come from grassroots organizing. It's not, we don't see the union as kind of a service for workers. So, but it's something the workers have to organize themselves. So that's our point of view. So, and I'm a shop steward. I'm also a member of our strike committee. So we are going on strike regularly for more than 7 years now. I'm also a works council member, but that doesn't have a lot to do with the union. But that's my background.
Do you want to tell me a little bit about the local union structure? Like how does that work?
You mean the official union structure or our own structure as Amazon workers?
At connection. Now we're back.
Okay.
I was thinking more. Well, actually, both are interesting, but I think I'm more interested in like the grassroots structure that you were talking about. What does that actually look like on the ground at Amazon, and how does it relate to the formal, the official structure of the union and in Amazon?
That's a very good question. So how does it look like? We are not that well structured. We have shop stewards, and also groups of active workers. We don't. We don't put the focus on the position we have inside the union. Basically, what we do is running around on the shop floor and talking with the workers, trying to organize things and trying to get the workers to organize themselves. So it's quite a complicated thing. When we have to do formal things, so there are certain things. So I have to explain. So we started with 15 people, so with this method, so we grew within a very short time. So there were 500 union members suddenly, and then we had to deal with that. So because it also is a lot of work. And then we had to form some structures, which is our shop steward group, and a strike committee. And we try to make democratic elections. So, and we also, for example, in Germany, if workers want to go on strike, they have to form a committee, and then they have to ask the union, and the union officials will tell them you can go on strike on this or that day. So it's very well organized by the union. But we wanted to have power over this on our own. So we were negotiating with the union. So, and they gave us a certain amount of days where they said, so you can strike, for example, it's just an example, you can strike 20 days during the next 6 months. But you can decide on your own when you do it and how you do it. So, and this was really great. So in this, at the moment, for example, we are capable of calling for strike within 20 minutes. So we don't do it now because of the Corona situation, but so if we decide to go on strike, we can do it within 20 minutes and we're out. So, and this is just an example. But it was also a hard struggle inside the union to get there, because officials want to keep control.
Right, and I think that's also a common problem and a challenge in big, like, bureaucratic unions. So it's very inspiring to hear, like, how you built that grassroots movement and regained your independence. I'd love to hear more about that, but I want to turn back to Roman first. And so you're a member of the Workers' Initiative, right? And that's a much smaller union than the Verdi. Do you want to share a little bit about your background in the IP and what the IP structure looks like in the Poznan facility?
Yes, we are Inicjatywa Pracownicza. It's a grassroots union and syndicalist union. And actually, about me, it's before I work in Amazon. I was in Ireland, and I working in Ireland 7 years, and more like 5 years I was member of Mandate Union, but it's big union like Verdi in Ireland. So I was just like I don't know, normal worker and like common member. So, but I just make like an official role, somebody who connect Polish workers in my workplace. This was Tesco shop with Irish shop steward, and and it's what about Inicjatywa Pracownicza? like I said, it's a grassroots union, and it's very democratic. It's quite small union, and it's I am member of Anarchic Federation of Polish Anarchic Federation Poznań section, and it's like for this like my syndicalist background, and it's for me myself. And it's we start like in similar number like Christian says, so about I don't remember, like 10, 12 people, because for this so make like commission in like union commission in Polish workplace, it's minimal number of people, it's 10. So it's, I don't remember. So it's our commission in Amazon started like 12, maybe 15 people. I don't remember. Actually, I wasn't in this moment. And now we have about 700 members. And it's about more like 20 people are like very active, like activists. And it's we have a presidium, but we don't have like chairman. So it's like everybody in presidium, it's equal. And yeah, and everybody who are in presidium are common worker. Like we all working in warehouses. So we are like not official. We are just workers, and we don't get any money for our union work. So it's like activist work.
Right. Can I ask you there, Roman, because Christian just told us like that at Hasfeld they have a very strike-ready organization. They're ready to go on strike in 20 minutes time, and they've been on strike several times. And Christian also described a very like thorough and massive like grassroots work to make that possible. What does that look like for the IP in Poznań at the facility there?
So it's we have totally different situation, legal situation between Poland and Germany. So I'm very jealous about this, what German colleagues can doing, and Christian, because we can't doing something like this. We tried 2 times doing legal strike in Amazon, but Polish strike law, it's very, very hard. This meaning, so we have first start long process negotiation with Amazon, and after this, when this falling, we have to make strike referenda, and we have to to be to doing something. We have to have vote more like 50% of workers. So this is biggest problem with that big company, because in first referenda we didn't reach this number, but anyway, because it was like 2,000 something votes, I remember, something like this, and for this people who vote, like more like 90% was voting for strike. But anyway, this number was too less, like we didn't reach this 50%. And now we are in second strike referenda, but we still didn't reach the same, this 50%. Anyway, it's like it's harder from almost months to months, because Amazon opened new warehouses, and in legal situation in all Amazon in Poland are one company, It's this different between German Amazons, because which I know Christian can say more. It's different warehouses in Germany are like different smaller company, and maybe for this it's legal situation. It's anyway maybe about strike. It's better like in Poland.
So I would like to know, like, what is it like to be a union activist at Amazon? I mean, how are you treated, and how does Amazon meet the demands of the union, and how does Amazon treat the union? Do you want to talk to me about that, Christian?
They basically try to ignore the union, and they don't see me, for example, as a union member, or they don't accept me. So if I'm going to the management, and they don't want to talk to me as a union member, but as an how do they call it, as an Amazon associate. So because their strategy is they tell the public and they tell all the workers, so we don't need a third party at Amazon, because it would be bad for our customers and for our associates. So if we negotiate with the union, and what we realized what they did was, we started organizing because they didn't raise the wages back then. So we had for almost 6 years no wage raises in a row, and so this was one of the main reasons we started to organize. And shortly after we formed our strike committee, so it was even before the strike, they suddenly announced that they will raise the wages. So they still say it doesn't have anything to do with the strikes or with the union. So, but they also can't tell a reason why they didn't raise the wages for 6 years, and then suddenly they started to do it. They gave us a Christmas bonus, which they pay every year now. And they did a lot of things. So they suddenly started to listen to the workers and change also the smaller things inside the company. So probably in order to get rid of the union and of the union demands. So they just say, so we do a few little things. So, and the conditions got better since then, of course. But still they don't want to negotiate with us. And still, they don't accept us as a negotiating partner.
What about Amazon Poznan, Roman? I mean, what's their attitude toward the union, and what is it like for you to be a union activist at the facility there?
That is a little similar, like Christian say. So it's like they if they can, they ignore us, but it's and they negotiate with us. This what law force Amazon to negotiate with unions. We have some things when they won't get bonus or change rules inside, they should ask unions, and we have second union in Amazon, Solidarność. So if we can block some things which are bad for workers, but we have with Solidarność speak like in one voice. And now we're doing this, so we have some victories with the struggle against Amazon. And actually, in Poland, I think it's most important things are, of course, wages too. like in Germany, but condition of work, especially working with very high pressure, very hard pressure, and with feedbacks. And now we don't have feedbacks. So it's like, of course, some reason of this, it's like Corona problem and Corona situation, but some like in second hand, it's our struggle about this too. And because we use like push Amazons all the time about this, like we can, and the same with like use press about this. So it's like showing what is true, how it's working Amazon looking from inside, because Amazon of course make like good propaganda. So it's beautiful place of work, wonderful. You're working like in company of richest men in the world, and it's everything. It's everybody are smile there, and like this, like work is light and in good condition, and like it's looking very different from inside, and we're showing outside Amazon this how this looking really true.
Right. Roman, I would also like to know a little bit about the attitude toward the union from your coworkers, from your colleagues, the other people that work at the facility. Like, how do people feel about the union? And I think you mentioned before, like how many people are actually members, but they're also like how many are not members of the union?
Yeah, we have like 700 members, so it's compared to total number of Amazon workers. It's not looking very good, but anyway, it's I think it's a good number. Still a little growing up, and because it's in Poland situation about unions, like member unions in totally, it's not good like in, I don't know how it's Sweden, but it's better like in Poland. The same in Western Europe are much better in Poland. So it's anyway, I think it's that number. It's kind of success. And
well, I think 700 is definitely a very very large number, at least by syndicalist standards. Why do you think that people would decide not to join the union? I mean, are people afraid? I'm also thinking about, you mentioned before that you have a large number of temp workers. Is that maybe a factor that adds into why people don't join the union?
Yeah, it's many reasons. Of course, some people are afraid because, like this, like Christian said, it's Amazon. Actually, it's very company very against unions, and like showing so its union are not necessary for people because it's Amazon like fix up everything and are a good company, everybody are happy and like that. And it's second, it's like kind of history problem in Poland because we have like we should have good tradition about unions after this first Solidarność from 1980s. But from beginning 1980s, I think in 1980 and 1981, but after this, in end of 1980s, like 1989, 1990, like Solidarność turned to truly political force, like almost like a political party. And like playing in like big role in politic, like state politic but didn't care about workers. So I think I spoke with many people for this time, people start see union like not organization which fighting about workers, but playing political role. And it's another reason is that you say, so it's problem. We have a lot of this temp worker, and so people very often say, when I will have a permanent contract, that time I will join to union. But actually now in Poland, to reach this permanent contract, very often people have to working 2 years in Amazon to get this permanent contract, because we have, when people start by agency, very often they have 1 month contract. Sometimes they have even 2 weeks contracts, and sometimes I hear about 1 week contract too. And after they can working like that about 9 months. After this, they convert to Amazon workers, and they get first 3 month probation contract. After this, they get 1 year contract, and just after this 1 year contract, they can get a permanent contract. So very often people working 2 years to get permanent contract and have stability, condition of work and life the same.
Right. Christian, what would you say are the main challenges that you face in Bad Hersfeld as a union?
Well, there are a lot of challenges, but so the main problems also are, so we often get asked, so how can we defeat Amazon? And so some say we have to connect with other groups, we have to go public, we have to be in the public and everything, to have some public pressure on Amazon. But our theory or our wish is that or the only way to get control over this company is to organize, to have the workers organized. So it's only possible from inside. All the power is inside or at the working place, and so that this is our theory. And so we also have the same problem to convince people or to get people organized. So we started with 15 people, and now we are about about 1,200 or 1,300. I don't have the actual numbers, but so we are more than 1,000 people organized now, but still it's not enough. So we have 4,000 people, as I told before. And this still isn't enough. And we faced the same problems. So first of all, the working world changed over the last 20, 30 years in Germany. So while it was normal to be in the union 20 or 30 years ago, so today most of the people don't know about the union. And this is a big problem. And also we have, there was this economical system established, which some call the neoliberalism. I just call it capitalism in a certain form. And this also changed the mind of the majority of the people, because they think it's kind of a weakness to organize in a union. So they say, I don't need others to get along, so I'm strong enough as an individual, and if I organize in the union, it's a sign of weakness, and I don't need that. And also the image of the unions is very bad, similar to Poland. So because they lost a lot of members, and so they started to to act on their own, to do things so without the workers. So the connection between the workers and the unions got somehow lost. So this is the history. So this is the background that we are at. And so we have even a few workers who are against the union. So they also did militant actions against us. So they even used violence. Somebody world changed over the last 20, 30 years in Germany. So while it was normal to be in the union 20 or 30 years ago, so today most of the people don't know about the union. And this is a big problem. And also we have, there was this economical system established, which some call the neoliberalism. I just call it capitalism in a certain form. And this also changed the mind of the majority of the people, because they think it's kind of a weakness to organize in a union. So they say, I don't need others to get along, so I'm strong enough as an individual, and if I organize in the union, it's a sign of weakness, and I don't need that. And also the image of the unions is very bad, similar to Poland. So because they lost a lot of members, and so they started to act on their own, to do things so without the workers. So the connection between the workers and the unions got somehow lost. So this is the history. So this is the background that we are at, and so we have even a few workers who are against the union. So they also did militant actions against us. So they even used violence. Somebody used his car to drive into the picket line, and we had stuff like this. So, but it all vanished because they were also all treated bad by the company, and now half of them joined the union and the other half left the company. So we got rid of this problem, but still the main problem is, so the big majority of workers doesn't have an awareness or a consciousness that it's important to organize at the workplace. And
so I hear you both saying like very similar things, and you have similar challenges, especially when it comes to overcoming attitudes. And also, it seems clear that the solution, or what needs to be done, is to actually build like independent workers' power inside Amazon, and it seems to be your actual strategy. I would love to hear a little bit more, like how does that, what does that strategy look like moving forward from where you are now? How do you attempt to achieve that? Roman, do you want to start?
It's like Christian said, it's problem. It's building this power inside, and now in Poland, probably it's most challenge for us that so it's Amazon growing very fast in Poland, and we have like built new warehouses, new location, and like because we are strongest in Poznań, because we start in Poznań, and now we like try build like number of members in another warehouses, and this is like challenge for us now, because it's anyway it's some of them it's quite far from Poznań, and we can be everywhere, and that it's biggest, and actually it's another problems are also, it's I think similar in Germany, it's neoliberal capitalism try change law against workers and against union. It's just try for now, and it's in different way. This was they trying like change its law about unions, but it's the same day they now we have this pandemic situation, special law about this, and it's like the same this law, it's like workers situation, it's little weak like before. We will see how long will be this situation, and because it's like temporary law, but so we'll see what will be in future, because it's anyway pandemic situation in all Europe, it's worse, so we will see.
Right. Christian, what is your strategy moving forward with your union? How do you see your local union building this power inside Amazon the coming years?
I don't know if you could say that there's a one big strategy. So the main thing is we have to keep a core group. We have a core group of organizers who are there from the beginning. So we are doing it for almost 10 years now. We have a core group, and so we also struggle hard to keep that up and to get new people to join this core group. And from this, so we have to go step by step, and we have to do it again and again, because, as I said, the fluctuation is very high. So, for example, at the moment, we have a lot of people who were coming from Somalia, from different countries who now, so it's maybe about, I don't know the exact numbers, but I would say it's about 1/3 of all the workers are from African or Arabian countries now. So, and they, most of them also don't know what the union is. And there's one more problem. A lot of them don't speak the language, and they don't know their rights in Germany at all. And this is something we're working at right now. So, and we're having some success now, because a few of them now learn German. So after 2 years, some are even here 5 years. And now we can talk to them, and they start getting interested in the union and what we are doing, and they start getting problems and realizing that they have rights in Germany. So we try to focus to get new workers organized, which is a very, very hard thing to do. But so we managed to keep that up all the years. And but we still, we also know that even if we could organize all the workers in Bad Hersfeld, so it still wouldn't be a success. So we have to connect to all the other facilities in Germany and also in Europe, and also worldwide. And this is what we do. So while we're doing the work inside the building, which starts new over and over again, we started to make connections.
Could you just briefly elaborate, like, what does that connection look like? I assume that since you both know each other, Roman and Christian, like, what does your connection look like between the two facilities in Bad Hersfeld and Poznan, Christian?
So there's not... I explain it a different way. So first of all, we started to make connections to the other German facilities. So when we started in Bad Hersfeld with organizing, at the same time, workers in Leipzig started organizing. So, but it was independently. There were no connections. But then, so we knew from each other, and we started to make the connection to Leipzig. So our shop stewards went to Leipzig. The Leipzig shop stewards went to Bad Hersfeld. So, and we made friends, we drank a little beer and made plans. And then we, on our strike, we visited with a lot of union members. We visited Leipzig to go to visit their strike. And this is how our history in making connections started. So, and today we have 6 or 7 facilities in Germany who are quite well organized. So similar to Bad Hersfeld. So they were opening up in a lot of new buildings. So, and from this point, we started moving internationally. So we realized, so half of the goods that are delivered in Germany, they come from Poland. And so there's no way to win the struggle without connecting with the Polish workers. No way. And the other way around, the Polish workers won't make any progress if they don't connect with us. So, so in Germany, we have regular shop stewards meetings from all over Germany. So in 2 weeks, we will have the next Germany-wide shop steward meeting in Berlin. And also we meet internationally 2 times a year. So we formed kind of an organization called the Amazon Workers International. And that's where we make our plans and try to find a common strategy.
I'm very impressed by all your work, both of you, and I think we focus a lot on the challenges that you're facing, and they seem to be daunting, yet still you're moving forward, which is very inspiring to the rest of us. I have to say. I still want to ask you, like you've done a lot of work, and I would love to know, like, what would you say are your main successes during these years that you've organized in Amazon? What are the things that stand out from the union work? Roman, do you want to start?
Yeah, well, that is kind of success. This is what anyway Christians say is like organizing success. It's this. So we are this international network which are compare wages, compare what is our in our warehouses, and how work looking in different countries, and condition how there are. So and it's we use this information for our struggle. We inspired each other. Anyway, we are working in the same company, in almost the same state. So it's like company, it's international. So we have to build international force against this against this company, against in struggling in our struggle with this company. So the same, I hope so. Very soon we'll join Swedish workers to our network. This is like in international view, but it's internal view. It's like we have like victories. One of victories, of course, is that it's so quite big number of members. So because anyway we are a small union. Quite small union, so we have that big numbers of members just in two companies, meaning Amazon and Volkswagen, and we have, of course, kind of victories inside. So it's like it's maybe it's looking from outside, so it's small victory, but anyway, it's very important for people. So we like it's pushing for health and safety things inside, and we of course pushing for I don't know. For example, we didn't have any chair in our warehouses when we start working there. So because we are working standing or walking 10 hours, and in like shop floor we didn't have any chairs, and we push this because in law we can have chair, and now we have chair when people, if they tired, can sit, for example. So it's maybe it's looking like almost nothing, but it's very important. Anyway, when you can sit during 10 hours for a few minutes, and so we have, I don't know how this is called in English, internship. So we have bigger money after 1 year and after 2 years. We didn't have this in start. We know it. So German colleagues have this. And we push Amazon for so we should get the same, and we have this. And of course now we like I say before, we don't have this feedbacks or this main tools to push people to working faster. Actually all time faster and faster, and harder, which from beginning to today, just Amazon the one, so people will still working harder and faster, and using these feedbacks to push people and fright people to lose job if they will not working faster and harder. Now we still fighting about this, so this system will be cancelled, and actually this system doesn't work, and few times was the same situation. So the system of feedbacks doesn't work, and we push still for this, and we win a very important case in court about this, and we hope so one day this situation will be permanent, so this feedback system will gone totally from Polish and any Amazons in the Europe and world.
Those are very important victories, Roman, and it's very inspiring to hear. Christian, what would you say are your main successes at Bad Hersfeld?
Well, now I could talk about, so we raised the wages, and they did a lot of things. But mainly, and this is my main point. They did all these working. They changed all the working conditions and made it a little bit better, because they are afraid of what could happen. So we don't have the power to force them to do what we want, but we were able to change the power. How do you say, the power relations? The situation. Because they are afraid what could happen. So it could be, so if the conditions, they worsen the conditions again, so in 2 weeks we will have 100% of the workers going out to the strike. So they are afraid of us. This is what I think is our main success, and also it also has to do with our international connection, I think. They know that we are connecting. So this is what I would say from a collective point of view, but also from a personal point of view. You know, when I started at Amazon, it was in 2009. So we had this, we have these big assemblies called all hands. It's by the management. So the management tells all the workers together in a big hall, in a big room, and tells them stuff like the success story and the safety tip. And back then it was, they told us, we don't raise the wage this year again. And all the workers were standing up, clapping their hands and shouting, "Yeah, hooray!" And I was new, so I asked the guy next to me, "So what did he just say? Did he say they will raise the wage, or did he say they don't raise the wage?" So he said, "No." He said they don't raise the wage. So and then I asked, why the fuck are you clapping? What's wrong here? So, and the management was, you know, the workers were celebrating the management, and no one didn't dare to ask any critical question. So, and the situation today looks like when the management comes to the assembly, so they don't want to be there. So they are afraid of the workers because the workers are shouting at them. They asking critical questions, and the management doesn't answer any questions anymore. And they want to get rid of these assemblies. So they are really afraid of the workers. And I think this is our main success. So I had some very nice, you know, I'm also as a works council, I have to help the workers when they have meetings with the bosses to get a warning or maybe to be fired. For example, we have these old Russian ladies working at Amazon, so who didn't speak up maybe 10 years ago, they didn't speak up. They didn't know their rights. And now they are telling the manager, they're pointing at the manager and telling them, I don't trust you anymore, go away. And this, so for me personally, it's really great. So because, the power relations are changing.
That really warms my heart to hear. I think the important lesson here that I would like to take home is that it is possible to move Amazon, and it is even possible to make Amazon afraid. And I think those are very, very important lessons. Now, like Roman mentioned before, and I think I started by saying this, Amazon is coming to Sweden. So as a final question, I would, if you were to give the Swedish unions some advice on how to deal with Amazon, what would be the most important things that you would share from your experience, starting with you, Roman?
I think it's like for my experience, it's if you want build power in Sweden in Amazon, it's for me it's most important be inside. Like so, it's very difficult to build organize from outside. I think because you have to be one of workers. We have to be like stand arm to arm and working arm to arm, and this just be one of worker. It's very important because like from outside it's very very hard to build trust. And this one about I think it's very important. And second, it's that so like this I always say, so it's like we are common people against one of biggest monster of capitalism. And these monsters are international monster and like worldwide. So, and like Swedish, it's again puzzle for this map. And just after, like first you should build inside organization, and after this catch this international connection. It's very good. I think it's build this network before. Just if you want, I don't know, like catch this monster, we have to build this net, international network to catch this monster. It's very important way to push Amazon, because Amazon like try little escape to another countries, move to build power, and just escape for places, little escape for places where workers make strong.
Thank you, Roman. Christian, what's your advice to the Swedish unions now that Amazon is coming to Sweden?
Yeah, it's pretty much the same like Roman said. I think it's crucial so that they give that the workers inside the warehouses organize so with the support of the union. So, and I also think it would be a good idea not to just represent the workers. So we have a lot of unions who are saying we are speaking for Amazon workers, but on an international level, but they don't have any workers inside the facility. So most of the workers are not very happy about this. So it's really important it comes from inside. and the unions just should support what the workers want to do. You know, let the workers decide what to do and when to do it, and also before pushing Amazon in the public too hard. So it's more important to organize or to get the workers organized. So it's something we did wrong in Germany too. So we went to the public too early, and this cost us a lot of time. So a lot of workers were angry about that. It's important to get a stable group of organizers inside the building. And of course, like Roman said, the best thing would be to connect from day one. And when I talk about connections, is direct connections between workers and not union officials, which also might be important. But so for us, it is very important to get a connection directly to the workers. So, and we would be very happy to go to Sweden.
You are more than welcome, both of you, I'm certain to say. Christian and Roman, thank you so much for taking the time. This has been a very, very inspiring talk. I hope we can stay in touch, and I'm sure that we will see more of each other in the future. So good luck to your organizing efforts, and thank you for all the hard work that you've done, and thank you for sharing that with us.
Yeah. Thanks for the interest.